Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I start today's topic, I just wanted to really quickly shout out all of you that are still here sticking by me ever since I started to open my freaking stupid dumb mouth and start to spew out everything that goes on in my head because I've always been really nervous about it and I'm going to get more into that later, but today I just wanted to talk about Morgan Adams and her most recent video, or what was her most recent video at the time that I'm recording this. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, so maybe she has released another video by then. But this is regarding her one called, it's something like a chat about my life or something like that. Again, I'm not the best when it comes to receipts because I'm not going to spend all my time collecting and screenshotting and recording when I just want to make the damn video, okay? So here I am making the video. That's what I'm doing. So in this video, she does finally address Shane. Well, not really finally. I think she has before, but she finally came on camera and just kind of gave her own perspective on the situation, because for her, I'm sure this is really hard because that is her friend. That's literally her family. That's her brother's man. Like, she obviously knows him in a very different way than what we're going to know him. So I thought it was really great that she actually came out and voiced how she felt. And I expected her to get a lot of backlash, but there was overall a lot of support in the comments, which I thought was great because from what I can tell, Morgan seems like a very genuine person. And as with anybody you see on the internet, even me, you guys don't know me from frickin' Adam, man. Yeah, I mean, I could be anybody out here. So, but just from what we can see, she's been relatively unproblematic. She's never really been in any hot water, she just kind of does her own thing, makes people laugh, and she just seems like a really great personality, and she's someone that I really admire in a lot of ways. So I was really glad to hear her say something, and if you haven't watched the video, I highly suggest it because I thought about, recording it and posting it here. I'm not going to do all that. So if you haven't seen the video, maybe pause where you are here and I'll go ahead and link it in the description and you can watch it for yourself. I'm sure someone has left a timestamp in the comments of when she actually talks about Shane. And so I'll give you time to go see that and then you can come right back and we'll talk. Okay, and so now for those of you that have seen the video, in the video, she makes an analogy about basically what I talk about all the time. And just saying that when it comes to people like Shane, these bigger influencers, she explained it kind of like there being a house and you're seeing them through this window, but you could see so much more if you could just open up the door and walk into the house, right? And I thought that was absolutely, she made fun of herself throughout it, but that was actually a dead on perfect explanation for it. You know what I mean? That was the perfect analogy because she's absolutely right, we're never going to know him in the way that she knows him. And this whole video isn't going to be about Shane specifically, but I'm going to bring up Shane and Jeffree a lot just because those are the two biggest names that hold the most negative connotation at this point, right? So those two are the main ones right now that are on everyone's shit list. So I'm just going to use them for the sake of example. So when it comes to the internet, people's actions can be very different in private versus in public, or even just certain aspects they put out there, It could go so much as the way you edit a video. You could have had one intention and it could have come out completely different. And I know I have that problem a lot. As I'm recording, I'll be sitting here talking about things, and I think what I'm saying makes a lot of sense, and then I go back in editing and I play it back, and I just sound like a complete asshole, which, I mean, I am. You are what you eat, but sorry. Anyways, we just really don't know, and I think a big part of that, and she mentions it in the video, she mentioned Twitter specifically, which is, albeit the worst one of them all, because Twitter is the quickest way to stir shit currently in this day and age. But at this point, social media has us so clouded, and it's really difficult to be able to feel any certain way about any topic when you're constantly being made to believe that you're wrong for enjoying something or feeling your own way about a certain person or interpreting their actions in a different way. Like I mentioned earlier, even I was scared to do videos like this out of fear of what people think about what I have to say, and it really sucks because I enjoy talking and I enjoy putting things out there and, giving some perspective, but there were times when, I outraged about something and I'm feeling some way, and then I get on Twitter or something hoping to find at least one single person out there that shares the same opinion, one single person that can maybe see through like all this bullshit that's going on. And there's nobody. Like I'm all by myself and I'm like, does nobody see it from this side? Does nobody know that maybe this could have happened? Is nobody seeing any of this? And then I start to wonder if I'm a horrible person. What am I doing wrong? Because everyone else feels this way, so why don't I feel this way? And no one should ever be made to feel that way because not everything is going to be super black and white. There are certain issues and topics that, yeah, 100% there's right and there's wrong, but at this point, it also comes to opinions. Like, people aren't allowed to have opinions anymore. And it drives me absolutely freaking insane. Like, literally, what happened out here? I've said it before that if we all continue to surround ourselves with people that think exactly the same way we do in every possible aspect, not just like-minded people, but just people that, to their core, literally everything they say is cookie cutter, we're never going to be able to gain any other perspective from anyone else. We're never going to be able to use that for self-reflection or growth because you're just hearing the same thing over and over, and then you have to go with that or you're the devil. And I don't know why that's just the overall accepted concept at this point. Because if things continue to go in that direction, we're never going to be able to get the chance to grow and to change and to understand others. Like, I am still mad at Shane for making me believe that certain things that he did or made jokes about were okay to joke about. I do understand the concept of dark humor. I do realize that the joke was that those things aren't a joke and they are terrible. So the whole point of it was to point out that, like, hey, clearly this is bad, but I mean, they still, at the same time, I'm sure, they shouldn't have been made in the first place, those jokes, right? Like, and I should have never had it in my head that we should be making jokes like that. So I was able to learn that through the perspectives of others by seeing the way they felt about those things and really hearing others. And then it made me think, like, what if everybody thought the way I did at the time, that, like, obviously this is a joke because it's bad, which is still true, but at the same time, like, I wasn't understanding why those jokes shouldn't have been made in the first place. That super deep, dark topics like that shouldn't be brought into any sort of light. There should be no humor found in those things. I understand that now, but could you imagine if every single person thought the way I did just like a few short months ago? Then nobody would be outraged at all, and the people that were truly hurt, like Willow Smith, all these people that were hurt, they wouldn't have been hurt at all because everyone's feeling the same way I feel. You get what I mean? So we need different things out there. We need other people's view and different opinions so that things can change and we can progress in the world. And with all that being said, I still don't appreciate the people that are out there that are going to act like there was a time where that just straight up was not a thing. Like, you cannot pretend that there wasn't a whole fucking era of the internet where it was absolutely nothing, like absolute gross nonsense like that. Like, that there was literally a time that I was growing up that literally the most foul shit you could possibly think of, that's all the internet was. It was just absolute shit. Posting was very different back in the day, okay? So while you may not agree with it, and a lot of people that are on the internet now are much younger, so they didn't grow up, in the same era that I did with the internet. So things like that aren't acceptable anymore because, again, we've grown and we've changed and we've evolved. But you can't just completely wipe that out and pretend like it didn't exist. Like, I never found this funny. Why did you find it funny? Because we did. Wasn't okay. We're here now to say it wasn't okay, but it was a time. Much like we can't erase anything else that's happened in the past. It happened, and all we can do is learn and grow and change, and I don't get why that's such a difficult concept for people. Another thing that's really been grinding my gears is I was on Twitter the other day, and again, no receipt, sorry about it, go find the tweet, but Jeffrey tweeted something about, like, you know, having anxiety, which I have an anxiety disorder. I totally relate with that. And yes, I still follow Jeffrey on Twitter because I want to see what the fuck's going on too. You know, like, at the end of the day, I still want to know what's going on. So, he tweeted that tweet, and then literally all the replies, like, every single person was telling him, like, you deserve it, you're a terrible person. Like, saying, that's me being light, trying to reiterate. That wasn't even the worst of what people were saying. And that also is not okay. Like, I feel like if anybody else, if Jeffrey, like, you know, got into Shane's replies when Shane tweeted something and was like, you're a terrible person, you deserve it, y'all would have his fucking head. You would not let that happen. You'd be like, why are you tearing him down? And, you know what I mean? You're not perfect either. So how come all of you people out there, just general population, you should not be wishing any ill on another human being for any reason, unless, I don't know, if they're like a rapist or a pedophile, I'll excuse it, but you don't treat people like that. I don't understand living in a world where we're constantly living for the sole purpose of seeing another human being's downfall, you know? Like, we get off on it, and it just, even me included, I 100% have been a part of this. Like, you know, when the first Dramageddon, or the second Dramageddon happened, the James, Tati Jeffrey thing, I was there watching James Charles live sub count. I was getting, like, the sickest enjoyment out of watching this man lose everything. And for what? Literally for what? Like, did it make me feel better as a person with my shitty life and my crappy job and my broken dreams of ever being a YouTuber? Did it make me feel better? Is that why I did it? Probably. I was 100% projecting. I don't have anything. I'm here with absolutely nothing. Why should you get to have something? And that's a god-awful mentality to have. We should not be just sitting here, just sucking the souls out of people, wishing harm on them, getting enjoyment out of seeing them lose absolutely everything. And that's part of what makes cancel culture toxic. It's not just holding people accountable anymore, you know? It's just, we're waiting to watch them completely just straight up be homeless and, like, have nothing. Why? For what reason? What is that doing for anybody? Actions do speak loud, and why are we begging for someone to lose their entire life and discouraging them rather than encouraging them to do better? Isn't that what you want? If you want them to be accountable and change as a person, shouldn't you be there just, you know, kind of egging them on to do better instead of just waiting for them to lose absolutely everything? Don't we want them to be who we thought and wish they were? So why are we being so negative about every single little thing? And we've made it to the point where the word accountability is completely misconstrued, because everyone says they want you to own up, but even if you try, it's never going to be good enough. And I know it's hard to tell when someone is being sincere, like with all the apology videos and like the notepad on Twitter and all that, but we as people can have our own opinions as to whether or not we do think it's sincere. But at the same time, can we, like, give them the slightest benefit of the doubt and just wait and see what they do next? Do their actions reflect the words that they spoke? Because that's what we need to be looking for, and that's what is important. You know, again, just looking at the difference between Jeffrey and Shane right now. Like, Shane posted his apology. Again, there were some issues with it, but overall, I could see it as sincere. I could see it as insincere, but I could also see it as sincere. And again, I'm always going to try to give somebody the benefit of the doubt because I don't know them. So since then, Shane's taken a break. He hasn't posted or anything, at least not that I've seen. And therefore he hasn't escalated anything because he hasn't been around to escalate anything. Meanwhile, Jeffrey posts his apology, finally, after pretending to be off social media, even though he was still on social media. And he's out here freaking flexing his Birkins and, like, swinging his wigs around and doing all this crazy shit after, you know, trying to take his accountability. So again, I have my opinion as to whether or not his apology was sincere. I feel like he wished it was, but it wasn't. You know, that's something I'm allowed to believe. I'm still at the end of the day going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I know that he is unlikely to ever change, because after all these years, between all these different influencers, the ones from that dawn of the internet, so you have, Jeffrey, Shane, Jenna, all these people, I feel like they've all shown different amounts of growth and change, and Jeffrey's just pretty much shown none. The only difference is he got more business savvy and a little more on the DL with the way he really acts. So that's not really change. Whereas the other people, Shane still fucks up quite a bit, but it's not like his current videos were anything like the stuff that was being brought up from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely different. Like, there's something going on there. Now, as to who he is as a person in his personal life, we're never going to know, but do you get what I'm saying when it comes to looking for changes? You have to be able to see the difference between these two in that aspect. Like, just really look at it. And it's this unwillingness to accept growth and this mob mentality that terrified Jenna Marbles to the point that it completely ran her off the internet. And it's this mentality of the general public that has held me back from speaking on certain issues for so long, that made me delete my channel time and time again. And I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for being able to reflect and grow and educate myself on what's important, and to be able to see things from the perspective of others. And you have people that say you can focus on multiple issues, like when it comes to all this Jeffree Star drama versus, well, Black Lives Matter is going on, and people are like, hey, we can focus on both. And while I, in my heart of hearts, like to believe that's 100% true, because I feel that way, but sometimes I wonder if it is true, because I feel like I've seen way more about, what Jeffree Star is doing than, like, any single thing that's going on otherwise. Like, if we put half of the amount of effort into the issues that truly affect the lives of the population as we do into ruining Jeffree Star's name, and this includes myself, like, I fully, how many videos have I done so far on, like, James, Jeffrey, Tana, Shane? Like, I haven't put up a single video dedicated just to the Black Lives Matter cause, and that's something I truly stand behind and believe, and I'm still educating myself on, I'm just so tired of the overall gatekeeping. Like, can we just let these people live their lives? Everyone deserves a shot at redemption to an extent, depending on what they've done. I don't think we should be going out of our way to ruin someone's life over a video posted 10 years ago. We should look at what they're doing right now in this moment. And every single human person is going to be problematic to an extent, in some aspect or another, from time to time at least, because human beings are human beings. No one is perfect. Everybody fucks up. I've probably fucked up 4 different times this morning. You know how many, like, Facebook memories I've sifted through where I've said the most god-awful shit that I know if anybody sees will completely ruin me before I even start? And that's not me. Like, some of this, I just can't even fathom some of the stuff I thought it was okay when I was 15. And, all we can do is move on and, accept the fact that things are different, things do change, and we can change too as people. And if we feel like we can change, why can't, we give someone else the chance to redeem themselves and to change? And again, this isn't me just trying to come back out here saying that I'm Jeffree Star's fan or I'm Shane Dawson's fan again. Like, I just want to say I've just done a lot of thinking, and can we just give everybody a chance to make their next move? And then we can continue to formulate our opinions from there. So what we're not going to do is get on Twitter and tell every single person in Jeffree Star's mentions and replies that they're a terrible person because they bought Jeffree Star's last palette. Just let people enjoy things again. Like, if some 14-year-old girl wants a cremated palette, just let her get it. Like, let her live. Let her learn about things, You can educate people or share your thoughts without being a complete gatekeeper and making people feel like just because they don't feel the exact same way as you that, they're completely wrong and they're a terrible person. We all come from different walks of life. We all see things very differently. We need to work with each other and not against each other. Alright, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Have fun. Be safe. Look both ways before you cross the street. And I will see you next Monday. Bye.